It's been 2 years since our marriage, but you've never made a single complaint, Naveen said to his wife, Sunanda. No, I am very happy. If I ever face any difficulty, I will tell you only. Who else is there for me in this house besides you? Sunanda replied. So, you are really happy? Naveen asked. Oh yes, Sunanda responded. But why do I feel like you always seem a bit anxious? You always look somewhat scared, Naveen pressed further. Sunanda was startled. She wondered if Naveen was beginning to suspect something. Seeing her silence, Naveen spoke lovingly. Hey, you've gone quiet. I was only asking because in this house, I am your husband, father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law in one. That night, Sunanda couldn't sleep. Her mind drifted into the past. She began thinking about what had happened in her life. At PD college, in her class, there was a boy, Rakesh. Without much thought, Sunanda had grown fond of Rakesh. Rakesh, too, had come to love her. Their 3 years of college passed through meetings and letters. Who had time for studies? Sunanda barely managed to pass her exams. Her father found a marriage proposal for her. The son of a friend, who was now alone in this world. Sunanda didn't approve of the match, but her parents were adamant. And she had no say in the matter. Rakesh needed time to establish his career. Before her marriage, he promised Sunanda that he would find her again after she was married. The day he became stable in life, he said he would come and take her away. Today marked 2 years since Sunanda's marriage. She had grown to love her husband and her home and family life. By now, she had largely forgotten Rakesh. She no longer wanted Rakesh to re-enter her life. But today, things took a shocking turn. Naveen called to say that he would be bringing a friend home for lunch. Sunanda eagerly prepared the meal with great care. Her heart began to race when she saw Rakesh walk in with Naveen. The color drained her face. Hey Sunanda, look at this. You are not even familiar with my friend, and here I was thinking you both knew each other, Naveen said with a laugh. Sunanda awkwardly greeted them with a namaste and led them to the drawing room, then quickly slipped into the kitchen to fetch water. In the kitchen, she took several deep breaths in an attempt to compose herself. Just then, Naveen entered and, holding her hand in surprise, said, You've gone completely cold. What's wrong? Is everything okay? Sunanda grew even more frightened because she sensed a strange change in Naveen's behavior. When Naveen hugged her, he could feel how fast her heart was beating. He helped her serve the water and food and decided not to bring too much at the time. Rakesh worked in Naveen's office in a junior position. He and Naveen played on the same hockey team in school. Since Naveen was older, he had cleared the probationary officer exam early and become a bank manager. Whereas Rakesh had not progressed beyond the post of clerk. That night, when Sunanda couldn't sleep, she realized that Naveen, too, wasn't sleeping fully. She was almost certain that Rakesh must have said something to her husband. That had made him restless. Sunanda was so scared that she didn't even ask how. Naveen had suddenly run into Rakesh. She remembered Rakesh's promise that as soon as he got a job, he would come and take her away. Rakesh still had her love letters and many SMS messages. She had sent him on his mobile phone. Days went by. Naveen remained quiet and withdrawn. Sunanda's suspicions began to turn into certainty. This fire must have been started by Rakesh. She began to wonder what Naveen must be thinking about her. Perhaps he believed she wasn't a good woman. Lost in her thoughts day and night, Sunanda began to neglect her food and health. She started becoming weak. One day, Naveen finally gathered the courage to speak to her. Sunanda, I want to tell you something, he said. I know why you've been so sad. For many days, I've been unsure of how to talk to you. Just as Naveen began speaking, Sunanda, who had been lying on the bed, sat up and folded her hands in apology. "I didn't know you would come into my life, otherwise," she said, breaking into tears. Naveen was once again confused and began to wonder. Now how do I find out exactly what Sunanda knows about me? Meanwhile, Sunanda was consumed with anxiety over what Rakesh might have told Naveen. Several more days passed. Though living in the same house, the two had started to live like strangers. Then one day, Naveen gathered strength again and decided to speak with Sunanda. The two were having evening tea when Naveen suddenly broke the silence and began speaking. "Look, Sunanda, if there were other family members in this house, like me, parents or siblings, perhaps we would not be acting like strangers today." Yes. Everything was fine, and then suddenly everything changed, Sunanda said, her eyes welling up with tears. Naveen said to her, "Let's talk openly today. Every time we talk, we end up getting tangled in confusion. Instead of coming closer, we grow further apart. Even I am fed up with this atmosphere now. I need to speak clearly too. Whatever happens, let it happen," Sunanda said, taking a deep breath. "Let me speak first," Naveen said. "This goes back to the time when I was in 12th grade and Rakesh was in 8th. We were friends because we both played hockey. During that time, there was a girl named Suman in my class. I really liked her." Sunanda was growing more and more surprised, wondering what Naveen was talking about. She had been anxious, imagining something completely different. Naveen continued speaking, without looking at her. "I used to write her letters every day, and she would write back. Rakesh's job was to deliver her letters to me and mine to her. We stayed good friends even in college. Since I was still studying and didn't have a career, her family married her off elsewhere. Rakesh had kept some of our letters, and later he would use them to blackmail me and extract money from me. Then I was posted to this city. I married you and started living peacefully here. I didn't know he would show up as a clerk in my own office. I know, Sunanda, he's the one who filled your ears with things. Because of him, you fell sick. Maybe he even called you. If I had told you all this from the beginning, maybe we would not be in this mess today." In one breath, with a heavy heart, Naveen stared up at the sky and let everything out. Just as he turned to look at Sunanda, he saw her fainting. "Sunanda, please forgive me. I love you very much. There's no one else in my life but you," Naveen said, as he caught her and helped her sit up, offering her water. Sometime later, when Sunanda regained consciousness, Naveen looked into her eyes, and he finally felt a sense of relief. "Naveen, I listened to everything you said. But you haven't heard a single thing from me yet. I am trapped in a web of confusion, crushed under the weight of stress, slowly drifting toward death. Please hold me, help me," Sunanda pleaded. "Speak, Sunanda, speak. Say whatever you need to. No one understands better than I do how light one feels after speaking the truth," Naveen replied. Just like Naveen had done, Sunanda shared her entire love story with Rakesh. Both Naveen and Sunanda began to feel much better. Naveen held Sunanda's hands and made a promise. "From today, we will begin a new chapter of deep love. We will never let anyone like Rakesh enter our lives again."